Yeah. We arrived, and today we want to talk about quantum mechanics. What quantum mechanics is? What do atoms behave at a quantum level? Remember, we all know that all that govern reality is mind. Is the same as soul. Soul is what govern reality, and the soul is what gives rise to matter, which in the first place they are called atoms. And the science look is a materialistic paradigm because it says what is underneath of existence is atoms. The same atoms are the center of everything, and the most known type of science nowadays we are using is quantum mechanics, which have which in the past ago was discovered in quantum mechanics. They discovered something that all that exists is not atom. They are not atoms, but uh, mind. So we want to look into what others said about quantum mechanics, how atoms behave at a quantum level. So the way they behave, can we say the atoms are fundamental protocols on the fabric of every existence? That is what we want to look into today. And I'm going to share with you guys uh, a screen on the Big Think is a channel where a lot of scientists uh, ex their view on how they see the world, whether it's material or not material. I'll sing you guys always don't comment. I was see there were uh, five people we were together, but one have leave the stream. Please come back. Let's learn together. Once we learn, it's the only way we each other elevate consciousness. So come back, uh, hear what today's the one we are going to express. We are going to talk about the Mikio card, and he is the one who is good at uh, like on tech billionaires on the evolution of computers. So he talked about quantum computing. What is quantum computing is and what is going to be about. Yeah. So you can see the topic is quantum computing is the next revolution. So we want to look into what the quantum computing is all about. You can see he has this thread, which is Google thread. You see? So if it's a next revolution, what is it going to be about? Remember, the computers we are using nowadays are digital computers. So with coming of quantum computing, we are still going to be using the same digital computers, but what is the computer will be all about? That is what we want to look into. So let's hear what he said about quantum computing.
And more historic than that, we're now at the initial stages of the next. We all know that digital computers changed virtually every aspect of our life. Well, the
You
arrival of
see,
quantum computers.
he explained that the digital computer is changing a lot in aspect of how we live in the society we are in, and it's true. You can look at the desktop computer nowadays, where some they are even using Windows 11, and Windows 11 is faster than Windows 8 or Windows 10 when it comes to the network. If you want to live stream like the way I'm doing right now, I'm using Windows. I'm using my personal computer, and I'm using Windows. I use Windows 10, Windows 10 2019. It's not the latest version. I haven't yet downloaded Windows 11, and we can look at how we are able to communicate. We are able to share this information. So, what the future is going to bring after quantum computing is much better than what we are seeing it today. That's why they say quantum computers are going to be the next revolution because of what the information, how we share this information. Look at the social media platforms. They all use computers. We all use our smartphone. Remember, a smartphone is also a part of digital computer. This is all this information is computing. It's not like us human beings who think, but it operates in ones and zeros. So what is that ones and zeros are about? That is what quantum computers, quantum mechanics talk about when we speak of mind to be the matrix of everything, not the atoms. So let's continue and hear what he said.
Computers could be even more historic than that. The initial stages of the next revolution. We're talking about a new generation of computers, the ultimate computer, a computer that computes on atoms, the ultimate constituents of matter itself. The question is, who's involved in this race to perfect quantum computers? And the answer is everyone. All big players are part of this race because if they're not, Silicon Valley could become the next Rust Belt. Also,
So you can see uh, we're talking about now who is involved in a quantum computer revolution. Then he says every one of us, because now when it comes to this, now you have to understand about we say quantum computer is mind be the matrix, also to be the matrix, not atoms. So once one of everything in the computer revolution, uh, it's now how softwares are used in the when you mention Silicon Valley, it's now how softwares are going to be used in in the computer in a digital world we are living in, looking including the way we utilize artificial intelligence. You see, so to say everyone is involved, it means now it's about us updating the softwares and making the softwares best possible for everyone. But remember, software, the when software came to place, they first start at the fundamental level, and as we are as it get updated, then it will also uh, become better. It also uh, find new ways on how it should process information. That is what the software do on wherever the computer has been stored. So the Silicon Valley is the now the where the hardware come to place, where the by manufacturing of the hardware, mostly they just call it Silicon Valley. Because remember, Mikao Kaku is the one who is involved in where the manufacturing of uh, computers happens. But there is Mikao Kaku who knows better about the manufacturing of hardware, and who look at the NVIDIA company is also the one who is who knows better about the manufacturing of computers, and they call that Silicon Valley. So let's continue. Government they use, yeah, that is about it. What computers, how the AI, how we are going to be developed, the things we are going to build, it might be the cities. All that will require artificial intelligence. You see, he's talk now here. He talking about the first computer, which was analog computer. Analog computer was not much involved in software. The development of softwares was not yet uh, born. That's why he's talk about it was complex. The where the analog computer was structured was complex, and that's why it was involved much at the uh, much on simulations. But those people are gone. Right now, we know we are using digital computers, which are involved in software, and the software is also complex. For it to run properly, it has to code a lot of things. Remember, most of the softwares and as the way computer process information processing in form of one and zeros. Even in how it store information, it is also store information in form of one and zeros, not in the form of atom. That's why when that file has been compiled, they are now we can it can process that information to be at its smallest level, but to not to but that file should not lose quality. It can suppress it to its smallest level, but make sure that it doesn't lose its quality. And that's why majority the computer operates on one and zeros. You see? You see? You see? That is how the quantum computers, like the digital computer we use. You see? You see? Now here it's now how we say they now come in an argument about the reality and how atoms behave at a quantum level. That is what we wanted to focus on. We say as a computer, as he has said, the hardware transistor. Remember, it's a hardware, but the manufacturer of transistors they have atoms in, and those atoms code in form of one and zeros. You see? So once it is coded in form of one and zeros, and they say if they have protons and the neutrons. So what exists on those now are the charges we talk about positive charges and the negative charges. You see? But the reality behind it is first um, mind, and mind we know it's form of sinusoid. We know it by Fourier's formula, and we say it's cosine electrons and the electrons that are found at the quantum level. So when those proton and neutron are vibrating, then flow of electricity happen. But what is fundamental is the uh, cosine and the sine waves, not the protons and neutrons. That's why we say quantum is next revolution, because it's going to leave out the explanation Nicola Kako have about what is fundamental at a quantum level between numbers and zeros and ones and the protons and the neutrons, protons and electrons. I hope I have made myself clear on that. So transistors, yes, the hardware, that's why we say they are protons and neutrons, they are at atomic level. But what happens inside it to process information, to process the flow of electricity, it uses protons and neutrons. But what is in beyond it is now the cosine and the sine waves. It's the energy itself. It's the mind itself. It's in electrical form. Remember, when we say energy, when we say soul, when we say mind, we are according to Newton's law of motion. He said, Newton's law of motion. He said, mind can never be changed, can never be destroyed or created, but it can only be changed from one form to another. You see, just as the same as we change when there is water. If you heat, if you heat water, it can evaporate into gas and into gas. If you condense it, uh, it can come out in the form of water again. The same motion of water, if you, there are the machines, the turbine that are used in almost where electricity is being manufactured, like those manufactured not solar energy. It's the motion of water, and the motion of water with the turbine, then the same energy is now converted, is now is now transformed into another form, and the form it is transformed to is what we call electrical energy. And the electrical energy at every transformer also is also converted into magnetic energy. All of that it applies, and it connects. That's what it makes. That's why we say all that exists is mind, because behind everything that happening at each level where energy is being transformed from one form to another, as Newton said, once it comes to consciousness, who is conscious, then it becomes that we are the ones who are conscious. We are the ones who are doing the thing, who are doing the change. We are the ones who are at the core center of creating and destroying, changing it from one form to another. That's why we say once we have come to conclusion of what truly exists at the quantum level, then we can create beautiful lifestyle. We can create beautiful universes together instead of having this argument, because we are not able to understand each other from what they exist first between mind, soul, and an atom at a quantum level. At a quantum level. Yeah, that is what I wanted to clarify on this. Yeah. In the chat, you see? Right. Computers. Yeah. we have talked about that and photo, but there is a place for you. So I tried. But you see, when it comes to nature, calculating things, that is these are now logical, possible because once it come to flowers like this one, to think to calculate is logical because for a flower to grow, all it needs is the sunlight. The resources it needs is sunlight. After sunlight, there's need for water for it to find its food. But it doesn't. One way in its locomotions, it uses. I mean, it can't just locomote on its own. When there is a blowing wind, if CD uh, uh, go to they blow with the wind, they regenerate on other places. But the flower does not calculate. That's why at the center, it's as humans, we say, no, let's have this type of flowers, not this type of flower. You see, that is now when consciousness comes into play. What is where consciousness comes to explanation on what truly exists at the at the quantum is mind, and the mind is mind of us human beings who are doing all the changes on the planet. So the coming of AI, with the coming of AI, even there are going to be advancements in a lot of field in agriculture, in medicine, because looking at the manufacturing, the processing, all with technology becomes simpler, and we also create strong uh, uh, medicine. Why? Remember, for resources to be with technology, uh, there is if you have to study now first one. once it comes to the powerful octaves of Baphomet, what does those represent in human psyche, and all that. And also you have to know involution, where involution, like looking at the plants that were used when there wasn't computers, when there wasn't technology, and to the now today they will find out they are hybrid uh, type of food. So this hybrid type of food, once they are put into production, they also produce, they also have good effect on what that medicine is going to be. I hope on that I have made it clear that production of medicine, they also need resources, and uh, um, the type of resources that have been used, looking at the way we have dropped it to the level of hybrid plants, uh, uh, hybrid in what we eat. It means what we can also create for ourselves is also going to be better, and it's going to be strong. Its efficacy is going to be high. Yeah. So that is that about the quantum computers. It's yes, it's truly yes. Next computer revolution. Looking at the uh, growth in every field in agriculture. In agriculture, there, remember there are a lot of field. There is horticulture, there is animal part. You can look at the goats that were present maybe 20 years ago or 25 years ago, aren't the same like the goat we are using. We are rearing nowadays. Nowadays they are hybrids. Majority are hybrid. It means it's because of the evolution. Remember this. Well, other way the animals are just safe beings. They are not cautious. So humans are the only one who are cautious and who are the co-creator of everything new that has to exist. That's why with coming of technology, we believe that there are going to be great things that are going to emerge through technology itself. That is on computer technology. Because remember, quantum mechanics doesn't just apply on a quantum computers only. Even in medicine, there are a lot of quantum machines, scanning machines. The majority also use quantum uh, theories for there to come to production. So all that are for us to use as humans and enjoy and be happy only as we are doing our things on daily basis. Yeah, that is that guys I wanted to share with you today. Bye.